This is High Stakes from Gerard Phillips, Kate and Hancock.
Crying wolf? This week's big story is from Axios. Hospitals test the goodwill of Congress on Medicare cuts. In the article, Gerard Anderson, a health policy professor at Johns Hopkins, said, "For decades, the hospitals have told me that they're going to shutter, they're broke, and that Medicare reforms will essentially impoverish them. And they're still there and doing incredibly well." So what does it mean for you? Health systems have enjoyed the benefit of the doubt for a long time. That time may be ending. Consider the dissonance in two different takes on our industry from the last week. Health Affairs tells us that hospitals are, quote, on track for their worst financial year in decades and will be forced to take drastic measures to reduce costs, including service line closures if not closing altogether. On the other hand, Axios in the big story says that hospitals test the goodwill of Congress as they endlessly ask for more federal dollars even though, quote, the industry has not been scrutinized as much as other health groups despite being the primary driver of rising medical costs, end quote. In fact, Axios writes, some facilities would be just fine without lawmakers' help, shrugging off the sound and the fury. In some, crying wolf. Yes, there are nuances in both articles, and for healthcare's inside baseball crowd, the points are well scored. But friends, all of us involved in advancing the mission of delivering care need a new story and a new approach to telling it. This week's articles are beacons of more to come. Our industry's consistent inability or refusal to talk about money, to candidly address the concerns that hound healthcare like the extraordinary cost of care, the fog of price transparency, the definition and distribution of charity care, it's exhausting the extraordinary goodwill afforded us because of the care we deliver. Avoiding the questions or failing to translate the exceptionally complex issues for lay audiences doesn't stop the hard conversations from happening. Silence, or tiptoeing obfuscation, eliminates the ability to shape the story. Into this vacuum step other voices with other agendas and solutions that may or may not be accurate or helpful. We can't win if we don't play. Uneasy being labeled as the primary driver of rising medical costs, as Axios wrote, it'll be the common knowledge until we replace it. This is not to suggest the solution is an easy one. On the contrary, it takes your time, of which you have none to spare. It takes your focused attention, and there's little left of that in the supply chain. It takes a rich understanding of how the gears of our business mesh in general and how they turn in your market. It takes the hard work of decoding the healthcare's quantum physics-level intricacies for your lay audience. And it takes the discipline of telling that story over and over, piece by piece, so it eventually penetrates and sticks. No, it's not easily done, but it is urgently necessary. The cost of failing to do it well could be high in D.C., at your state capital, and within your zip codes. The Health Affairs article is not wrong when the authors write, quote, the manner in which hospitals respond to the challenging financial forecasts will have long-term implications for cost, quality, and access to care, especially within historically underserved communities, end quote. And Axios, in yet another article last week, said, all signs point to a crushing surge in healthcare costs for patients and employers next year, and that means healthcare industry groups are about to brawl over who pays the price. Hear that word? Brawl. So you know where this goes. The media will call. Scrutiny is their job. The stories will contrast the big dollars being generated against struggling families in need. Lawmakers will opine. Attorneys general will ponder whether you're earning your tax-exempt status. Analysts will analyze. A win won't come with a message that healthcare is hard or complex or broken, although it certainly is all of those things. And so, therefore, it cannot be appreciated without an MBA. We cannot win if our message is merely some version of trust us. Trust is not what it used to be. This reframing is our collective task in 2023. Consider the great goodwill that your health system enjoys in your market, not as a shield, but as a stage that you've built over the years, set before the very people you serve. They have some questions.